Roma filled 10 of the players who performed so impressively in Italy a week ago. The missing man is Brazilian World Cup star Cafu, who's injured. Alessandro Rinaldi, his replacement. There was also a question mark concerning Roma's star player Francesco Totti, but he plays thanks to a pain-killing injection in his injured toe. Their lineup includes 7 Italians, 2 Brazilians, a Frenchman, and the Japanese superstar Hidetoshi Nakata.
Well, Leeds revert to a back 4 tonight. They started off in Rome with a back 3. It quickly changed because things weren't settled. Tonight, they've decided to go with Haaland in the absence of Woodgate. Could possibly have put in Michael Dubry, but Haaland gets the nod. In midfield, they're definitely strengthened by the return of McPhail and Wilcox. What it also gives them is better balance. McPhail and Wilcox, both 2 left-footers. Then move on to the Roma side. And they're more or less the same as they were over in Rome, apart from the loss of Cafu, which is a big loss, because we've spoken about their attacking players, and he's one of the most attacking fullbacks there is. Ronaldo comes in for him. It's a 3 at the back, 4 in midfield, and then the real strength of the side in terms of their offensive line-up. Totti just playing in behind the front 2 runners of Del Vecchio and Montella.
Well, it's been described as Leeds United's biggest game for years. They haven't beaten an Italian club in Europe since they reached the Champions Cup final way back in 1975. And of course, Leeds will have to end that record here tonight to reach the quarter-final in front of a capacity crowd at Ellen Road. They have got an excellent home record in Europe. This is their 55th tie here, spread over a total of 15 seasons of European competition, and they've only lost 8 times in that period. Of course, Leeds, the first British club ever to win this competition, 32 years ago now, and they are England's most successful club ever in the UEFA Cup. They've won it twice and actually appeared in 3 finals in 5 seasons in the Don Revie era. But make no mistake, Roma are a top-quality European side. Domestically, enjoying their best season for 10 years in Serie A. They, in fact, led the table, Roma, early on. Have dropped down now to 4th, some 8 points behind the leaders Juventus, who beat them in a critical league match by 2-1 just a couple of weeks ago. Their Roman rivals Lazio, second in the table, and then the 2 Milan giants either side of Roma. That's how good they are. But Leeds United are having a wonderful season as well domestically. 4 points behind Manchester United in the Premiership, and with their thoughts still set very much on a championship challenge. Lucas Radebe will lead Leeds United again tonight. He always looks so calm, cool and relaxed. His only 2 goals this season came in this competition, including the winner in the last round here against Spartak Moscow. A late but very valuable goal. Same again tonight would do nicely from Leeds United's point of view. Well, these Roma players are battle-hardened. They're used to a terrific atmosphere. They're used to pressure matches. But Ellen Road in full cry can be something special and very intimidating. And it is certainly a wonderful atmosphere here in Yorkshire tonight. Well, Ellen Road has been the fortress it was in days gone by for Leeds this season. They've won 15 of their 19 League and Cup games here. Just 3 defeats, all in the Premiership, against Liverpool, Aston Villa and Manchester United. But they will really need to be at their very best, I think, tonight against the Italians from Roma.
I'll tell you what, Al, these supporters have given the Leeds players a tremendous reception. And I think that's going to spur them on to a great performance tonight. You're right in what you're saying. There's a lot of experience in the Roma side. And they've played in front of bigger crowds than this quite regularly in Italy. But they don't play in front of a crowd that is so close to you. They're right on top here, they're noisy. They're really up for it tonight, and I think the Leeds players will also be up for it. It's a massive match for both teams. Nicely poised. I think we're in for a treat tonight.
And here's the Leeds battle cry. Well, it's perfectly poised, isn't it, at 0-0. Well, no doubt if David O'Leary had had his choice, he would have preferred a score draw out in the Olympic Stadium. Because remember, Leeds have to win tonight. Any score draw would see Roma go through on away goals. 0-0, the only scoreline that would lead to extra time and penalties if needed. And we already know who the winners will play, Slavia Prague in the quarter-final, and they would be at home in the first leg in 7 days' time. I have to say, if it hadn't been for Nigel Martin, this tie might have been virtually over even before a ball has been kicked tonight. He produced an awesome display in the Olympic Stadium a week ago, and in particular denied Roma's Francesco Totti a potential hat-trick. But the Italian international, injury or not, is certain to be a big danger to Leeds again tonight. He's also their captain. Well, the Leeds United manager, David O'Leary, in typical fashion, playing things down, says it'll be no big deal if we lose tonight. As far as he's concerned, he says we've come as far as we can in this competition. But his players will be making sure that those words are misplaced, I'm sure. Harry Kewell, who was excellent in the Olympic Stadium, started on the left of a midfield that was there to hold what they had, a 0-0 draw, and succeeded in the end, but ended up as a major attacking influence on the game. And David O'Leary, 16 months in charge now, has forged an exciting, skillful and attack-minded young team here. They'll have to produce all those qualities against Roma, who beat Leeds, of course, in the same competition. Last season they won 1-0 in the Olympic Stadium, Del Vecchio getting the goal, and then drew 0-0 here at Ellen Road. And they had exactly the same situation this season, in fact, in the last round when they played Newcastle United. A 1-0 victory in Rome, a goalless draw in England. But remarkably, Roma have never won a European tie in this country in 6 previous attempts against Birmingham City, Sheffield Wednesday, Chelsea, Ipswich, Leeds last season, Newcastle this. The Spanish referee, José García-Aranda, gets us underway then. Leeds United in something of a mix and match strip tonight of their usual white shirts and socks, but they're changed dark blue shorts for some reason, presumably because Roma are playing in white shorts themselves. The mastermind behind Roma's tactics, Fabio Capello, in his first season in charge of Roma, the former European Cup winner and 4 times Italian Championship winner in his days with AC Milan. Bridges attempting to win the first corner. I think they'll have to settle for a throw though, Leeds.
Yes, but it gives Leeds the chance to exploit the long throw. In fact, Kelly goes short into the feet of Kewell.
And gets it back again. And Backer's cross a little wayward. Had a long run in the team with David Batty out injured. Started all but one of the last 18 games, in fact, Backer. And David Batty seemingly not that much closer to a return either. I gather they had to withdraw him from a possible reserve team match a few days ago. He's still suffering with that calf.
Yes, in fact, Alan, this would have been the ideal type of game for him, with Totti just playing in behind the front 2. He could have played his normal holding role there, but I think tonight that role will probably go to Eric Backer.
Alfie Haaland preferred to Dewberry at the heart of defence in place of the injured Woodgate. Dewberry, in fact, one of the Leeds United substitutes tonight. Roma beat Vitória Setúbal of Portugal 7-1 on aggregate, then Gothenburg and Newcastle to get to this stage. And they haven't conceded in their last 5 European ties. There's Condela, the French international, Totti, the captain and playmaker. Leeds know all about the threat from him. And a rather clumsy challenge there by Radaby. And they don't want to concede too many free kicks, because Totti in the Olympic Stadium, and indeed one or two of his teammates, showed how dangerous they can be in these particular scenarios.
Yeah, I think it was a tackle from behind from Radaby on Del Vecchio, but he certainly over-exaggerated it and made sure that the referee was going to give the free kick. But what it does do, Alan, it provides Roma with the opportunity to get the ball from this free kick. I would think to Totti, who is always a danger from this sort of area.
Condela, the player over the ball, and it's Totti who'll hit it. And Leeds survive the first threat on their goal, the wayward effort by Mangone way over the crossbar.
Well, it was pretty obvious that Totti was the man lined up to hit it, but fortunately for Leeds, he hits it straight into the wall. It rebounds to a Roma player who tries to hook it over his shoulder, but wayward, not a problem for Leeds.
Radaby wins the header against the smaller Montella, and Hart ensures that Leeds United get the throw. Just to underline what a great result that was for Leeds in the Olympic Stadium. Roma had won 16 of their previous 17 home ties in Europe prior to last week. There's Totti again, and that's an excellent ball. Once again, Montella pulling wide. Holden's gone out with him. Del Vecchio in the box. So too is Nakata, the Japanese international. Here he is. Leeds have it back and have the chance to break. Bridges. That's a good ball. Swept on by Wilcox. Kuehl on the left. 4 in the box here for Leeds United. But for once, Harry Kuehl delayed the cross. Now Montella up against Radaby. Roma's throw.
Well, it's a good swift break by Leeds on the counter-attack. Roma with plenty of possession. But if they can break like this, they've got quick players in forward areas, and Kuehl and Bridges.
A pretty obvious foul there by the Brazilian international Aldeia, which has left Kuehl holding his shin. .34 now, Aldeia, his 10th season with Roma, a World Cup winner with Brazil in 1994, and a finalist 4 years later.
Well, I can't understand why the referee hasn't allowed the trainer to come on. Now, Harry Kuehl looks to be in a bad way at the moment.
And of all the players David O'Leary would not want to see injured early on, he perhaps would top that list. Also a little surprising, Trevor, that Aldeia perhaps wasn't cautioned for this.
Well, it's quite deliberate, wasn't it? I would think that after the first game, he's been targeted as the main danger man for Leeds. Quite clearly there was no attempt from Aldeia to play the ball, a tackle from behind.
David O'Leary applauds the fans who applaud him as he leaves the director's box to go to the touchline, obviously anxious here about the injury to Kuehl, who's still limping heavily.
Yes, it looks to me as if he's slightly gone over on his ankle, and for his sake and Leeds, he's got to hope that he hasn't damaged ligaments.
Game will restart with a Leeds free kick. Looks a bit far out for Hart, and although he's a two-footed player, He's stronger on his left. But I would imagine it's more likely to be a cross than a shot on target here. We shall see.
There's only one player at this moment in the penalty box, Alan. Two now with Haaland going in.
I think it was a shot. It wasn't very well hit. Radaby, Kelly. Good skill. And Back has done well. Condela takes it from him. And a dangerous ball across his own penalty area there by the French international. Roma have got away with it. Well, a good positive start by Leeds, but as we all know, Italian teams, the masters, and holding on and looking dangerous on the break. They had so much possession early on in the Olympic Stadium, they didn't need to do that.
But I wouldn't say this is a typical Italian team, Alan, is it? When you look at the number of offensive players in the lineup, you know, many thought that perhaps they may change their strategy from what they did over in Rome, but it's identical, same shape of the side.
This is the furthest Leeds United have been in Europe for 25 years, since they reached the Champions Cup final in 1975. And they've only lost once in their last 8 European ties under David O'Leary. That was away to Spartak Moscow in the last round, a result they reversed here at Ellen Road. Harry Kewell switched from the left to the right and looks okay again. Tackled by Mangone. And the throw will be left to Gary Kelly. Kewell. Lovely skill by the Australian. Could have been a dangerous ball. Antonioli reacted well. He could have easily caught the goalkeeper out there.
Yeah, I don't think he was looking for this shot, Alan. I think it's a good bit of individual play. This gets away from Mangone. I think that's a cross into the box. An intended cross, I should say.
Another free kick to Leeds, even though Zago claims that his shirt was being held. The other Brazilian international in the Roma defence. They might have had 3, but Cafu, Brazil's captain, is out injured. And that looked like a block. The referee didn't read it that way, which is unhappy. He was not allowed to go onto the through ball. Loses possession in the end. Poland cuts out a dangerous looking ball. Liboya. And again. Now Condela. Totti. Much too strong for Del Vecchio. Only 23, Francesco Totti. Already a big star, and remarkably, for one so young, he's in his 8th season now in the Italian league.
Yes, it wasn't a particularly good ball from Totti, trying to release Del Vecchio, but there was a warning there for Leeds, because in the centre of the park, Liboya was guilty of giving the ball away carelessly, losing possession, and quickly Roma tried to hit them on the counter-attack.
If you want to watch Deportivo La Coruña against Arsenal, can I remind you that you press the backup button on your handset and then press the green button. Simple as that. Arsenal well ahead, of course, from the first leg. This tie intriguingly set up. Kewell trying to lose his marker. Nigel Martin will take the free kick. Bridges turning it on. Condela's clearance. Poland for Leeds. Nakata. And given away by Condela to Boya. Bridges just turned into trouble in the end. Determined play by Leeds, and McPhail very determined that ball was going to be his. McPhail again. Wilcox down the touchline. And a great ball to find him. First corner of the game to Leeds. Challenged by Zago.
Well, that was good play from the two players who didn't play over in Rome. Good link up between McPhail and Wilcox. Two left footers. That's where I think the Leeds may get a little bit of joy tonight. Without Cafu, Rinaldi coming into the side, facing the more direct Wilcox. He could provide one or two good... Just leave it there for a second as the ball comes into the box. I was going to say, with his direct play, he could provide one or two danger moments for Roma if he can get past Rinaldi and provide crosses for Bridges and Kuhl.
Yes, Wilcox unable to play in the first leg because he was suspended following a red card playing for Blackburn in this competition 18 months ago. Seems rather harsh, but sending off that long ago should still count. Radaby's header. McPhail beaten to it by Tomazzi. Good play from Kuhl. Bridges the furthest forward for Leeds here. Claiming the foul, not given by the Spanish referee. But here's Boya. A little neat back header by Aldeia. Condelas turned into trouble again. Tripped, however, by Harry Kuhl. And Radaby got there ahead of Montella. Hart. Some space opening up on the left here for Leeds, but while it stirred up, ball was being played forward. Wilcox was claiming that he was caught as he passed the ball out wide.
Yes, and I think that the crowd think it's a free kick. Linesman's flagged, but he's flagging for the ball out of play and a throw-in for Roma. One or two quite late challenges going in. I think the referee's got to get a grip of this. Here's one. As Wilcox lays the ball off, it's the Japanese player Nakatao comes in, catches him from behind. How that's a free kick to Roma, I just do not know.
No, that is an absolute mystery. Good interception again by Radaby on Montella. Kuhl. Brilliant play by Kuhl. Oh, what a shame the cross wasn't up to the run that preceded it.
Excellent strength and power and pace shown here by Harry Kuhl. Gets away from Mangoni. Unfortunately, couldn't quite execute the cross. His colleague and front runner up front, Bridges, was waiting for the ball in the box.
Radaby first to it again. Aldeia under pressure from Bridges, did very well to find Totti. First time ball was aimed in the direction of Montella. And Leeds looking pretty solid at the back at the moment. Certainly a lot happier with their usual system than they were with the experimental formation that David O'Leary tried early on in Rome. And then had the good sense to change, and it was clear it wasn't really working. Here's Totti. First time ball for Del Vecchio. That is brilliant fullback play by Kelly.
But what a ball that was from Totti, Alan. Unfortunately, the control of Del Vecchio didn't match the pass, but it was a great pick out from Totti.
And he's on the ball again here. Tomazzi lines up the shot. Compared to the kind of efforts that Nigel Martin had to deal with in Rome, that was almost like a back pass. Aldeia. Foul by Boya. He was on 2 cautions in the UEFA Cup. A further caution would mean that he would be suspended for the next match. If there is to be one, of course, for Leeds United, and it would happen in 7 days' time, if they get through tonight, they would play Slavia Prague here at Ellen Road in the first leg of the quarter-final. The ties for that stage were drawn early to enable teams to make the necessary arrangements. Mangoni. Totti. Spots Ronaldo moving forward. First time ball for Montella. Radaby got there first. And how often have I said that already? Now Kuhl. There's Nakata. Holland read the danger well. Slightly overhit the ball aimed at Boya, and Aldeia gets it clear.
Well, it's Boya's natural instincts, isn't it, to try and go forward, but he has to be careful, because every time he goes forward, Totti just plays in that little hole there, and if Leeds do lose possession, he's totally unmarked.
Ironic cheers for the referee. He's finally awarded Leeds a free kick. Bridges, and on the edge of the box, Wilcox furthest forward here for Leeds. Bakker now has just joined them. Came close with a header early on in the Olympic Stadium. Ooh. Well, to get away with that kind of defending suggests that Zago might be in for a lucky night. An optimistic shout from the Leeds crowd for a deliberate back pass. I hardly think so.
I was a little surprised there that Harry Kuhl didn't try and attack that ball. It was well flighted from Kelly.
Roma reached the quarter-final of last season's UEFA Cup, where they were knocked out by Atletico Madrid. They are former European Cup finalists, as every Liverpool fan will remember, losing on their own ground against Liverpool in 1984. They've also reached the final of the UEFA some 9 years ago and lost that as well against another Italian club, Inter Milan. And Fabio Capello here was winning all before him with AC Milan. He also has led a team to victory in the Spanish League in his first season, in fact, at Real Madrid. One of the most respected coaches in Europe.
Yeah, I would think he's very pleased with the opening 20 minutes. Leeds have been unable to penetrate the Roma defence. They look very solid, got a nice look to them, good shape.
Bridges wins the throw and takes it quickly. Intelligent play by him. Lee Boya just waiting for players to arrive in the box. The throw has gone Roma's way. Condelat played once for France in the World Cup a couple of years ago now. Nakata's header, turned on by Del Vecchio. Kuhl just directed it the wrong side of Bridges. Mangoni's clearance. Holland, lovely ball. Kuhl. Tomazzi took it off him. Let's remind you that if you would like to watch Deportivo La Coruña against Arsenal, then press the backup button on your handset, followed by the green button, and you can do just that. Almost midway through the first half here at Ellen Road, and not a serious threat as yet on either goal. McPhail has given it away. Montella. Rinaldi down the right. Del Vecchio in the penalty area. Unfortunately for Leeds, the cross just beyond him. The linesman has indicated that that had crossed the line as Boya tried to prevent the throw, but it is Leeds United's throw. Lovely little layoff by Bridges. Once again, Bowyer can't keep it in play, though. David O'Leary saying that Lee Bowyer's calves have literally packed up. He's had so much football of late. But he's got himself off the treatment table again to keep on running in that Leeds midfield. Totti battling away well there. Taken off him, though, by Wilcox. This is hard for Leeds United. Well, he was caught. And if the referee saw that, he's got to surely reach for a yellow card.
Well, I commented a little bit earlier on about the lateness of one or two tackles. The referee didn't get a grip of it. On this occasion, it's Totti leaving his foot there as Ian Hart tries to play a ball down the line. He knows he's the guilty one, and the book he goes.
Well, a deserved caution, I think, for a player who's already been sent off twice in Italian football this season. Flicked on by Kuhl. Condela's clearance. Del Vecchio. Mangone. This is Nakata. Oh, lovely skill. Decent looking ball too, but Montella outpaced by Radaby. Referee allows play to go on, although it was a foul by Condela. Now Bowyer's given it away. Bacca winning it back. Bridges. Kuhl alongside him. Bowyer moving down the right. This is Aldeia. Kelly doing well. Bowyer. Eric Bacca. Another strong run by the young Norwegian. Been a very, very good signing for Leeds United. Here he is again. Oh, brilliant. Ooh, went for goal when many would have been expecting the cross.
Excellent play that from Bacca. Shows brilliant skill here. Pushes it through the legs of Nakata. Not particularly good defending. Drives it in the near post. Tries to catch the keeper, Antonioli. But he's alive to the situation.
And Haaland has lost out to Del Vecchio here. The ball just clearing his head. And he had to make that saving challenge.
When this ball goes over the head of Alfie Haaland, danger threatens. The control of Del Vecchio isn't the best. Looking for a chest control to set it up for the volley. Chest control took it away from him. In the end, Haaland just ushers it out for a corner.
Roma's first of the game. An attempted, spectacular overhead kick by Vincenzo Montella. He was their big signing last summer, £15 million reputedly from Sampdoria after they were relegated.
A lot of players, Alan, who try that and are not really capable of doing it, but I've seen him do that once or twice, and the ball is actually ended in the back of the net.
Bacca's given it away here to Rinaldi. Totti again in that hole behind the strikers, finding Montella. Danger here for Leeds United, and a combination of Kelly and Radaby made sure that danger never materialised. But a scary moment.
Yes, and the problem's all coming from Totti. He's not being picked up there. Leeds are giving him too much space. I rather feel they've got to try and condense the play a little bit more and take the space away from Totti at the moment. He's finding acres of room, and he's really controlling this first half. Whenever he gets possession, his passing is so good, he looks, and you've got the movement in front of him from Montella and Del Vecchio, and it's a big problem for Leeds. They've got to try and push out from the back and try and condense the play. For me, they're playing far too deep at the moment.
Well, as I mentioned before the kick-off, Roma have huge experience They've played almost 150 ties in Europe down the years and won over half of them. Bridges. Tomazzi wins it back. Nakata.
That's another little problem that Leeds have, Alan. That they've got to try to keep it in forward areas a little bit longer. You know, every time it goes into Bridges, he continually loses possession. That's the difference between the strikers of Roma and the strikers of Leeds. Roma are keeping possession, allowing the midfield players to get up and support. This is what Bridges got to do, keep the ball.
And this time he's done just that. Jason Wilcox slides it forward for Kuhl. And all the experience of Aldeia needed then by Roma.
It's a good little ball from Wilcox, but Aldeia read the situation, just got his body in front of Harry Kuhl, just saw it out of play. Good experienced play. The player who's had a great career, Aldeia.
He was in the Benfica team that reached the Champions Cup final 10 years ago now. Got a move to Roma just after that. Condela for the Italians. Here again is Totti. He was confident of his ability. He used to be a striker, and it was Capello switched him into this new role behind the front two, in which he has been so effective. It's cheap possession given away there by Leeds. Fortunately, Vincenzo Montella offside. He is second in the scoring chart in Italy at the moment, Montella. 15 league goals. And he's got 3 in European competition as well. Well, tomorrow night on Sky Sports 2 and Sky Sports Extra, we'll have third division action for you. Swansea against Northampton. And then on Sunday, Division 1, Blackburn Rovers versus Crewe Alexandra. That programme begins at midday. Here's McPhail. And it breaks again to Totti, and that means danger. Not this time, though. Loose ball, picked off easily by Radaby. Bridges. Kuhl, instant control, but Mangoni dispossesses him. Now Nakata, Totti to his left. Well, fortunately, his shooting has been not exactly off target, but no power behind his 2 efforts so far. But as Trevor says, Leeds should be concerned that he's getting that kind of room.
Well, David O'Leary's trying to be positive, Alan, by playing Wilcox wide on the touchline here. You see him out wide, but he's putting a tremendous onus on the midfield boys, and they're being outnumbered because it's the problem that I keep on about Totti, who's playing in that little area there, and the midfield boys, they need a little bit of help. I think they could do with getting Wilcox a little bit narrower to try and deny the space.
Now Bakker taking Leeds forward. Unlucky. Totti again. Gets it back off Kelly. And the ball for Del Vecchio, too strong. Young Matthew Jones was given the job of almost man-for-man marking Totti in the first game. It didn't really work, and David O'Leary, as I mentioned, changed that inside the first 15 minutes in Rome. Protests, but the referee seems to have given Leeds a free kick there. I think the linesman was indicating throw, but it's even better for Leeds. Stephen McPhail with the free kick. 5 in a line for Leeds United inside the penalty area. Much too flat, the kick. That's disappointing, really. Leeds have passed up a good opportunity to put pressure on Roma then. The back healer by Bridges, brilliant. And Boya's first time cross almost found Harry Kewell. Antonioli there first.
Yes, I don't think anybody expected that cross. Least of all Harry Kewell, and that's why he never reacted. But it wasn't a bad cross into the near post.
There goes Montella. Now Condela. He was expecting the whistle. It hasn't gone. And Paulin protests about what he thought was a bit of gamesmanship there by the Roma player.
And the father of Michael Everett, could you please touch your son from the east stand at first aid league?
Clearance by Zago. Tomazzi. And again.
That's what the Italians are good at, keeping possession. Their control is so good. In tight areas, they keep possession well.
Condela, space opens up for him as McPhail slipped, and the return ball, fortunately, just a shade too hard. Here's Tomazzi again. Oh, lovely first-time ball for Totti. Montella. And Totti's in support here. He couldn't pick him out. Wilcox very deep here, but has kept possession and found Bakker. Well, he's been hounded out of it, and there's 4 against 3 momentarily here. Great run by Montella, superb tackle, but still danger. Nigel Martin gets it half clear, Totti onto the loose ball. Nakata with the shot, deflected away, and that's a corner. It could have been much worse for Leeds.
Well, you get the feeling, Alan, that it's only a matter of time before Roma take the lead. I just hope for Leeds' sake that he can get through to half-time and gives the manager, De Valeri, a chance to possibly change things. But at the moment, with 10 minutes to go, they do look like conceding.
Condela for Roma. This is danger. Fortunately, he had to go wide. Rinaldi plays it back in. Del Vecchio beaten to it by Nigel Martin. But some ominous signs here for Leeds United. Roma getting better. Mangoni's clearance has gone straight to McPhail. First time ball for Kewell. Once again, Aldeia in control. Ian Hart. Wilcox and Bridges combining, and a lovely ball for Hart. Oh, this is a great run. Well, a very optimistic shout from the crowd as Tomazzi made the sliding tackle. They wanted a penalty. The referee waved play on.
Well, that's the first problem that Leeds have caused, and it comes from the left-back, Ian Hart. Certainly for me, wasn't a penalty. Well-timed tackle from Tomazzi. The referee was right on the spot.
And Hart it was, in his own half, who ended that Roma attack.
But certainly that was more encouraging.
Poor clearance by Mangoni.
Great run this from Ian Hart. Feints to come inside onto his right foot. And there you see the tackle from Tomazzi, timed perfectly. He just has a little look, makes sure the referee sees it the way he did. Quite clearly played the ball.
Harry Kewell. Oh, it's a great effort. Magnificent skill from Kewell. And what about save from Antonioli?
Good little spell this for Leeds. Great play from Harry Kewell. Comes off Tomazzi onto his left foot. Good save by the keeper. I'm not so sure it was going in. Probably would have won there. It was just going wide, but he covers that near post. Antonioli makes sure. Good couple of minutes this for Leeds.
Again, the set piece comes to nothing. But strangely enough, Trevor, just when Leeds seemed at their most vulnerable, they've come back and produced their best threat.
Yes, it's taken them 36, 37 minutes to really mount a serious attack and ask one or two questions of the Roma defence, because really it's been a comfortable ride for the Roma players. They've been the better side, but that was more encouraging, and as you would expect, if there was going to come a threat, it was going to come from Harry Kewell. He's their most dangerous player, has been all season. Certainly that bit of play just reminded the Roma players that he's around.
Bridges finding a bit of room. Hart. Wilcox on the left. And Bridges committed a foul then, I think, as the ball came over. And not at all happy about that, the Italians, and the Frenchman Condela.
Well, did the linesman put his flag up for a foul, or was he offside? Well, there was a little bit of contact, wasn't there, on the keeper? Nothing much. He's a big lad, the keeper. No need for the other Roma defenders to get involved.
No, a foul for sure, but an overreaction. And Condela again involved. And the referee must have seen that. Heaven knows he was close enough.
I think the two of them could go in the book here, Alan. Needs to settle it down a little bit, the referee. 2 yellow cards. Yeah, I thought so.
Well, that was the postscript to what had just gone before in the penalty box. And both Vincent Condela and Michael Bridges are on a caution.
You mentioned that Totti has been dismissed a couple of times. Also, Condela has been dismissed this season. And you can see the reason why there. A reaction. I think there's a little knee in the face of Bridges.
Gomazzi. Nakata, that's good skill. The player who is Asian Footballer of the Year. And finds Rinaldi down the right. Here's Totti. And back it goes to the defender. Well, from where I was looking, he had two teammates better placed than he was, perhaps, for the shot.
Yes, I think Ian Hart just did enough here, but great attacking play from Rinaldi. We spoke about Cafu, who normally plays in the right-back area, as being an outstanding attacking fullback, possibly the best in the world. But this lad here likes to get forward too.
Rinaldi, one of 3 players that Capello signed from Bologna during the summer as he reshaped the squad in his first season in control of Roma. Who have been 5th, 3rd and 5th in the Italian league in the previous 3 seasons. Here's Montella. That'll be the defender. He's taken it over the line. Leeds throw. You can see the funny side. Oops, I don't think he enjoyed the joke then, though. Alfie Haaland gets it away, only as far as Nakata. He's apparently a superstar in the Far East, Hidetoshi Nakata. And Nigel Martin, quite popular in Yorkshire. Del Vecchio doing well here. Good tackle. Really on his game tonight, Hart. Well, obviously this is a crucial period for Leeds to keep their concentration and discipline just before half-time. Montella. Condela. Radaby, very, very calm. Nigel Martin has got away with a mistake.
I'm not quite sure what Nigel was attempting to do there, but certainly Montella was quick to react to it.
Looking good. And that's a decent ball. However, once again, Bridges failed to hold it up. There's Kelly. And Bridges. Well, he's looked really good, Bakker, in these ghosting runs. And this is another fine dribble. And the centre was completely sliced by Aldeer. He wouldn't have had a clue where that was going.
Well, that was a great play from Bakker, but you feel that Leeds are going to take a chance and get across that first post. It's the second occasion now that balls have come in there and nobody has bothered to go across the first post. I think on this occasion you see Harry Kewell in the box and Jason Wilcox. Bakker under pressure. There's only one place he can put it, that's the near post. No reaction at all from the two Leeds players.
Bakker again. Now McPhail. Disappointing from him, and Leeds momentarily a little stretched here. Nakata leaving it to Montella. And now Totti. And back it goes to Montella. Oh, if he'd have got that right, surely Roma would have been in front.
But what about the vision again from Totti? Terrific play. I just wonder, you know, if David O'Leary will be considering changing the shape of the side at half-time.
Well, he's got 2 minutes of stoppage time to survive, if that's the right word, before he can get at his team in the dressing room.
Of course, he doesn't have Woodgate, so he can't use him as one of three at the back. He's injured, but he's got Dubry on the bench. I'm sure it may be a consideration for David. He can't be happy with the first half. Though it's 0-0, he'll be pleased to go in 0-0 because Roma have threatened. They almost scored there with Montella.
His foot was raised a little high on that occasion. Free kick to Leeds. And David O'Leary on the touchline, barking out orders again. And I mean barking him out. It was a wasteful free kick. Fortunately, Montella was offside. Referee's allowed play to go on.
Well, that's done Leeds no favours, is it?
Absolutely. There are advantages and advantages, and that certainly wasn't one.
I was going to say, if that's an advantage, you can keep it.
Yeah. Foul there by Kewell. He's certainly demonstrative, the Spanish referee. He certainly seemed to enjoy issuing those yellow cards earlier as well. Great flourish. Mangoni's free kick. Radaby wins it back for Leeds United. Bridges just directed the header the wrong way. Nakata. Mangoni with the ball over the top. Del Vecchio offside this time.
Oh, I'd like to see that again. I'm not so sure when that ball was kicked he was offside. Well, there you can see clearly onside.
And that's incorrect. But fortunate decision from Leeds United's point of view brings to an end a first half in which certainly Francesco Totti has been the star man, just as he was in the Olympic Stadium in Rome a week ago. He has really pulled things together for Roma in that position just behind the strikers. He's given Leeds a lot of problems in that respect, but at half-time, Leeds United have what they had at the end of 90 minutes in the Olympic Stadium, and that is a goalless scoreline. Leeds United 0, Roma 0 here at Ellen Road.